I figured we'd start with a nice little press conference here. Um, you know that I love a good press conference, and this is one of my favorite people to give press conferences is Pete Hegseth, or Pete Kegsbreath, as he's lovingly called here. Um, Terrible person, but he's always so funny. The way that he talks about military stuff, like a 12-year-old who's playing with his little toys or whatever. Um, so yeah, I figure we'll just launch right into this. I think that he talks what for like 10 minutes here, and then there might be some questions later on that I might go, if they're interesting enough, I'll keep going on that. But yeah, we should know what our Department of War Crimes is up to. So let's go ahead and hop right on into it. This is live Iran war news from Pete Hegseth in Pentagon press conference amid ground operation concerns by USA Today. Let's go.
Well, over the weekend, I had the opportunity to visit our troops fighting in Operation Epic Fury. We were on the ground, in CENTCOM on Saturday for about half the day. For reasons of operational security, so those troops are not targeted, the places and bases will not be named. Suffice it to say, the trip was an honor. I had a chance to bear witness, and I witnessed the best of America. I witnessed warriors, a brotherhood of men and women, warriors all, active duty, guard, and reserve.
I'm surprised. I thought we were done with all that woke shit. I thought all the women were getting kicked out. So I'm glad that he allowed the women to be a part of the brotherhood.
United in their love for each other, their shared purpose, and their commitment to the mission. I witnessed sheer competency. I watched a private first class confidently calling out an enemy missile trajectory to a room full of officers. Everyone focused. The room was locked in. 2 enemy missiles successfully shot down.
Wow.
I spoke to Air Force and Navy pilots on the flight line who every day both deliver bombs deep into Iran, but also shoot down drones defending their base.
Okay, this is just classic. Let's focus on the tactical operations instead of the strategic goals of the war or whatever. When you are having trouble like finding strategic victory, this is what always happens. You always end up just hyper focusing on individual tactical operations. We've seen this so many times in the past, but most recently would be like Israel's operations in Gaza or whatever, where they don't really have any strategic outcomes that are like coming about. So they just keep like going and bombing the same places over and over again. And, America does this a lot too. So this is a very classic code from our Department of War Crimes here.
Had just returned from the skies of Iran and Tehran. I put on a headset and spoke to one crew in the cockpit, locked and loaded, each and every day. I witnessed ingenuity, American ingenuity. I met the young Army officer who figured out how to neutralize maneuvering enemy missiles, saving countless lives. His commander confirmed that
they should give that information to Israel because they're having a lot of trouble with that shit right about now, is what it seems like.
Whoops and cheers erupted in the Tactical Operations Center when his new approach was first successful. I met the Air Force intel analyst who refines target packages faster than the enemy can adapt. I actually gave him my card and told him to keep me posted on the ground truth. I did the same with his boss.
That's classic business guy move. when you're just like, I don't know. I feel like that's like, that's very self-important of you. And like, you're trying to make them feel like you like, have a real connection when it's just like, I don't know. Sorry, that I've just seen that sort of move in like the business realm before. And I always feel like it's like a like substitute for like actual human connection is what it feels like.
A colonel with a heart the size of Texas and a beautiful deployment mustache to match. I witnessed lethality. I met a junior airman
Maxine.
as the sun was going down and a chill was setting on the tarmac, who, when asked what they needed, she simply looked up at me with a sly smile on her face and said, "More bombs, sir, and bigger bombs."
That's a why is he telling us this? That's a legitimate concern, right? Like, I assume that like she was doing it as like a joke or whatever. If this, take everything this guy says with a grain of salt. Like, this is probably not a real thing that happened, but let's pretend hypothetically that it is. Like, if she's asking for more bombs, to me, I would read that as a complaint about how slow our production capabilities are in America and how we are literally unable to produce enough bombs to sustain whatever the fuck they're trying to do for no strategic outcome, apparently. Whatever tactical operations they're trying to do for like literally nothing out there. Like, we're depleting all of our resources, all of our money, all of my goddamn tax dollars. For what, right? Like, what is the strategic outcome going to be here? I don't think it's anything good for America, but
we will happily oblige her. I met the Army targeting team who found and sunk the pride and joy of the Iranian Navy. Their fighting position plastered with images of sunken
pride and joy. What?
And I witnessed urgency. Right when we landed, another C-17 landed just minutes after us. And within 30 seconds of the aircraft coming to a full stop, a team on the ground pulled up and the cargo was being uploaded. Wartime speed. To a man and to a woman.
Yeah, it's just, dude, all I'm getting from this is that it's a bunch of, like, let's keep ourselves busy sort of shit. Like, when there's no strategic, like, I still don't see this strategic vision. And so it just seems, yeah, okay, cool. You're moving boxes like from left to right. You could be moving boxes from like one side of the room to the other, in America. There's actually entire corporations that do that. They're called moving companies. Like, if you're not trying to actually influence an outcome, like a strategic outcome here, which it doesn't feel like we are, it just feels like you're just wasting all of our money and like time, like, for no reason. I'm sure there's plenty of troops out there who are more than willing to, to just do all of these tactical operations without thinking even in the slightest for what strategic purpose. I mean, that's always been the case with the American military, but like, yeah, if you're like, it's just a complete and total utter waste of resources is what it sounds like to me. That's all I'm getting out of this so far.
Ground, in the air, on the flight line, and in the talk, I heard, we want everything faster, higher op tempo, wartime speed.
Yeah, it seems like that's if these are legit complaints that you're not able to keep up the production of the missiles and the interceptors that you need for war, that seems like a huge fucking deal. And he's trying to present this as like some sort of like, I don't know, he's trying to present this as like, oh, we're so much more ready and fast than any other president has ever been or whatever. It's just like, that's not how I'm reading it. I don't know. Maybe most people, maybe like normal people who just hear this will see this and not like hear legitimate critiques that he's getting here with our production capabilities. But I don't know. That's what I'm getting.
The feeling was the exact opposite of the rotational units year after year in the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan that we're so familiar with. In those wars, it was always about the next rotation, never knowing when the mission would end or exactly what the mission was.
That's what I'm hearing right here too.
Year.
What you just said sounds literally the exact same as Afghanistan. Like, I hear no difference whatsoever in what you're saying and what they said back then.
With epic fury. I witnessed.
You're just saying it a lot lamer. You're saying it in a much more like childish way, but you're saying the exact same things they said back then.
Urgency to finish the job, urgency to achieve mission success, not looking at the next rotation, only moving as fast as possible to win. I got a chance to troop the line, to witness firsthand what we already know is true. Spoke to all ranks and
Are
all
you being
services, none of whom
Were you a big military boy today, Pete? Is that what you did today? You trooped the line? Give me some more jargon, Pete. It'll make you look way taller. It'll make you look way bigger of a person if you just use some more military jargon. That'll really, I'll respect you so much more if you do that.
knew we were coming. It was not rehearsed or scripted. Sometimes we just wandered. What I witnessed was motivation. It was sheer mission focus. It was the American warrior unleashed.
Such a loser.
It was the
dude.
kind of warfighting American spirit that comes with a clear mission against a determined enemy. A crew chief we flew with summed it up nicely. He said, "It's been a busy few weeks, sir. Tough stuff. But I'm so honored to be called up. This fight is long overdue. We need to address it for our kids. We cannot pass the buck. Please thank."
So again, what's the strategic outcome going to be? Like, I've heard lots of stuff today about like, we're just going to turn around and leave now. It's like, okay, well, I feel like everything that's happening right now is putting Iran in a strategically better position than they were before. Like, Iran today is stronger than they were before we started this war. Like, I mean, I think that that's pretty apparent at this point. So everything we're doing is like putting us in a worse strategic position than we have ever been. It's literally, they're all going over there, and all of these troops are going over there and doing all of these like tactical operations to literally put America in a worse spot than they started with. So it's like vacuuming all my tax money out of my pocket and then lighting it on fire and then putting America in like a worse strategic spot. Like, okay, congratulations.
the president from us. I heard that time and time again. I asked each young American, what do you need? And nobody said better equipment. Nobody said more comfortable living conditions. Nobody said send me home. Well, of course, eventually we want all those things. They do too. But what those Americans said to me, young and old, officer and NCO.
What do they need? Do they need more bombs? Is that what they need? Is our multi-trillion-dollar missile or military industrial complex not able to keep up, not able to produce fucking anything? I assure you that if China was doing this, they would have no problems fulfilling the amount of bombs and missile interceptors of their military, because they can actually produce shit, but we can't. But we'll see what he says.
Male and female, black and white, was let's finish the mission.
That's what they want.
Get us even more bombs, bigger bombs, more targets. Let us.
There it is. The more bombs. Again, China wouldn't be having this problem. It's only America that literally can't even keep up its like production to a level to sustain the amount of like brown people we want to murder overseas.
In fact, Admiral Cooper noted this morning that the 3 Air Force captains shot down by Kuwaiti-friendly fire early in the fight weeks ago. They never left the theater. All dropped bombs over Tehran last night. These men and women live the Iranian threat every day, incoming missiles and drones, and know what a world looks like, what the world would look like if Iran had the most dangerous weapons in the world, a nuclear weapon. As President Trump has said time and time again for years,
what are you going to do to stop
Iran
it,
cannot have a nuclear bomb, and they won't.
Mm-hmm.
These troops, they want to finish this fight for their kids and their grandkids. This is about history. This is about legacy. Success matters.
Yeah.
And because of this president.
All that's true. This will go down in history. I just don't think it'll be exactly how you were thinking it would.
And these Americans, we're closer than ever before to winning. President Trump is doing what no other president had the guts to do. Previous presidents were all talk. He's all action.
Yeah, all the other presidents were like smart enough not to get themselves into this strategic quagmire that they are currently in, because that's what they are in. Let's be completely honest. They have no way of opening the Strait of Hormuz. They have no way of destroying all of Iran's ballistic missile capabilities. Iran can still sell all of their oil, and they've actually gotten sanctions relief already through military means. They can continue bombing all of the Gulf states and Israel for the next, decade if they wanted to. Like, they're able to produce missiles as we speak, Like, I just don't. Every single aspect of this is going terribly for them right now. So I do think it will go down in history, just not the way that they think it will. This might be one of the, the things that people look back on as like the one of the major declines of American imperial dominance. And they'll look back at this face right here and they'll be like, this is the face that made it happen.
On the battlefield, because of the latitude the president has given us, American firepower is only increasing. Iran's decreasing. We have more and more options and they have less. Just 1 month in, only 1 month, we set the terms. The upcoming days will be decisive. Iran knows that, and there's almost nothing they can militarily do about it. Yes, they will still shoot some missiles, but we will shoot them down. Of note, the last 24 hours saw the lowest number of enemy missiles and drones fired by.
They're also getting more hits than ever before as well, too. Like the fire rate is going down, but they're hitting their targets more and more often.
Iran.
Let me see if I can find something for that real quick. What is today's date? The 31st. Is this a good one? Well, I'll see if I can find some.
They will go underground, but we will find them. We recently destroyed another one of their command bunkers. Leaders forced to flee. No water, no power, no oxygen, no command and control. Their faith in their caves diminishing. The latest intel is clear out of CENTCOM.
That's just classic American racist propaganda to disparage the tunnel networks, like the strategic tunnel networks that they created that are clearly pissing us off a lot because of how effective they're being. We love to do that that whole rats in a cave narrative or whatever that we did during Iraq, and they're just doing the same thing over again. I keep getting deja vu, and yeah, it's not the good kind of deja vu. It's bad.
Our strikes are damaging the morale of the Iranian military, leading to widespread desertions, key personnel shortages, and causing frustrations amongst senior leaders. Just last night, we had 200 dynamic strikes alone. Dynamic strike is a strike where a pilot leaves and during their flight, they get a new target set based on real-time intel given to them. A new launcher, a new location, a new troop formation. A dynamic target is one that changes while you're in the air because of improved intelligence. 200 dynamic strikes alone, in addition to the pre-planned targets. The video the president posted last night of Esfahan, an ammo depot struck by U.S. bombers. You see, you don't get to see many of those videos because, as a reminder, Iran has still shut off the internet to 99.9% of its population. But if Iran is wise, they will cut a deal. President Trump doesn't bluff and he does not back down. You can ask Khomeini about that. The new Iranian regime should know that by now. This new regime, because regime change has occurred, should be wise.
Sure, whatever you say, dude. It is the same regime. It's the same. The only difference is that they got rid of the most peaceful person of the previous regime and replaced him with much more hardline people. So, but it is the same regime. I've said before, regime change is when you replace the entire apparatus of the current, political body in charge with a new one. And that has not happened. So it is not regime change. As much as they're going to try to spin it, if they are looking for a narrative of victory to tuck their tail and run or whatever, then that might be what they go for, but I don't buy it.
Than the last.
I'm just representative of
President
a large
Trump
group
will
of
make
people.
A deal he is willing. And the terms of the deal are known to them. If Iran is not willing, then the United States War Department will continue with even more intensity.
Oh, will you?
Standing here,
I don't think that they're not going to do anything more than what they're already doing. They're just going to keep doing the same thing indefinitely, and Iran will keep doing the same thing indefinitely. But nothing's going to change the current strategic direction of the war unless they do a full boots on the ground military campaign, which I don't think they really want to do, but they might end up doing anyway, because all of those people are like, they've already sent so many, people over there that are ready to go in, or like they've sent so many troops over there. And usually like 9 times out of 10, if you just follow where the troops are going and where the military equipment is going, you'll be most likely in understanding, or you'll be most likely correct in guessing like what they're going to do. And so that's why I still think they're going to do a ground invasion at some point. I was surprised it wasn't last weekend, but maybe it'll be this weekend. Who
this
knows?
morning in this briefing room, in my mind's eye, I'm actually looking out at the groups I met this weekend. The pilots, the logisticians, the intel analysts, the targeters, the sustainers, the flight crews, the air defenders, the base security, those maintainers who we walked up at sunset with the chill in the air on the flight line. May God watch over all of them, each day and each night. May his almighty and eternal arms of providence stretch over them and protect them.
I assure you. I mean, maybe God will protect them, but he's not going to protect you. Like, God, this is a, having our pedo billionaire elites siphon off all of my tax dollars to launch unlimited horror on a populace that was not going to do anything to us, like a completely peaceful and not going to attack America in any way populace, and starting out with double tapping a girls' school. I assure you that God has abandoned this military campaign. If there is a God, I 100% assure you that he is not going to be on your side in this one. And also, you are for sure going to hell if that's the case. So
and bring them peace in the name of Jesus Christ.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
Mr. Chairman, over to you.
Thank you, Mr.
Invoking Jesus for your fucking unlimited war crimes that you're committing is just blasphemy upon blasphemy. I'm trying to think. Yeah, so okay, this is the closest thing I could find to validating what I had, heard from other news sources or whatever. Meanwhile, despite the degradation of its arsenal, Iran's hit rate has steadily increased during the war, according to military analysts analyzing open source data. Gaps in air defenses. So Iran has become more selective about when, where, and what it fires its missiles, saving them for high-value targets. I know, it recently hit this airbase, which wounded 12 American troops. That was on March 27th, so a few days ago. Yeah, so it seems like while it might be going down in the total number of missiles they're shooting, it does seem like their impacts, the amount of impacts they're having per day is going up still. So, so there's that. So anyway, let's see if there's any good press or any good questions. I love listening to the rabble rousers, where they all yell to ask a question and then he calls on one like they're little school children. So let's go ahead and go.
Anderson, the chairman himself flew his F-16 to honor him recently. And thank you for highlighting the defense industrial base, the arsenal of freedom. It's worth noting no one has rebuilt that defense industrial base faster and with more purpose than President Trump in his first term. And now we're rebuilding the arsenal of freedom. Our defense industrial base is more vibrant today than it's been since World War II and growing rapidly. Contrast.
Yeah, right, dude. Yeah, right. The reason why I'm highly skeptical of that, they have all these targets, right? The whole thing about Trump's presidency is he's setting targets for the military industrial base to quadruple their interceptor production or quadruple their bomb production capabilities or whatever. But the problem with that is that America never hits its targets already. They ask for I don't know, 4 ships a year or something, and then they get 1 ship every 20 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, America has literally no capability of producing anything at all. So unless they actually, start just doing full on state ownership of the of these private companies or whatever, like Lockheed Martin and shit, unless they actually take over those companies and run them as nationalized instruments or whatever, they're never going to be able to produce enough to sustain the levels of war that they seem to be dead set on waging, and like for our Epstein pedo billionaires or whatever. So yeah, unless we become like China and we're able to actually produce shit again, they're never going to be able to produce enough to sustain all of these wars.
That with Iran, whose defense industrial base is nearly completely destroyed. Their ability to reconstitute the weapons of war they're using now that they're hiding in underground facilities and attriting over time, their ability to rebuild that is negligible. And I think that
the reason I don't buy that is because they built up their entire economy and all of these bases, like their entire military industrial complex was built specifically for this exact situation, an air campaign with no ground troops, because I think that's what they thought would be the most likely scenario. So I assure you that they have everything that they could possibly need deep underground where we cannot hit them whatsoever. Similar to where they put those nuclear stockpiles or whatever, when America tried to bomb them, and it didn't do anything on the 12-day war or whatever, I guess, it didn't do anything to them. So they're going to keep saying that they're doing these things, and but we've already seen from the 12-day war that they just lie and say that they took out all of these things like the enriched uranium, and then, oh wait, guess it's back again. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't buy it.
That contrast is an enduring legacy of this as well, right here.
Thank you for your time. We've had some signaling that the U.S. will retake control of the Strait of Hormuz. At that point, what military posture will be imposed to guarantee safe passage for our allies, deter our enemies, and demonstrate U.S. dominance in the region? And also, can you speak to how much America's adversaries, Russia, China, North Korea, how much they're supporting Iran's war machine at this point with arms and intelligence, and what we are militarily doing to punish the enemy coalition?
Appreciate both questions. On the Strait of Hormuz, there are many more vessels flowing through today than there were, as the president has arranged. The president's been clear to Iran, open it for business, or we have options, and we certainly do. And when you look at what the chairman laid out with the Navy, with the Navy industrial base, with coastal cruise missiles, with UAVs, with counter mine capabilities, we've been focused from the beginning on attriting and defeating those capabilities and limiting their options. There's lots we're doing as well, some of which is known, some of which is not known, to set the conditions. And I think the president was clear this morning in his truth that there are countries around the world
in his truth
who ought to be prepared to step up on this critical waterway as well. It's not just the United States Navy. Last time I checked, there was supposed to be a big bad Royal Navy that could be prepared to do things like that as well. So he's pointing out.
Yeah. But again, I say if America can't open it, then nobody can. Iran is showing right now that America is incapable of opening it. And you know what, Hegseth? Prove me wrong. Go out there and open it, dude. If you can do it, if the American military is so mighty and Iran is so decimated, go out and do it. Let's see it, buddy. But until that happens, I'm not buying it. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. And because there's nothing we can do, there's nothing that any other country can do that is going to open up the Strait of Hormuz. I'm sorry that these are just facts.
This is an international waterway that we use less than most. In fact, dramatically less than most. So the world ought pay attention to be prepared to stand up. President Trump's been willing to do the heavy lifting on behalf of the free world to address this threat of Iran. It's not just our problem set going forward, even though we have done the lion's share.
Why aren't you thanking us yet, rest of the world? You all have a energy supply crisis. Your cost of living is going up exponentially. You're about to have rolling blackouts in 45 days or whatever. Why aren't you thanking us, everybody, for doing all this for you? What are
preparation to ensure that strait will
How
be,
ungrateful
will be open,
of you.
Which is an outcome the president's been very clear on. As far as Russia and China, we know exactly what they're doing, what they are or are not doing. We don't have to air publicly what all of that is. But where necessary, we're addressing it, we're mitigating it, or we're confronting it head on. I don't know if you have anything you want to add.
No, sir. I think you covered it.
Do you have any
Right here.
timeline for operability in the strait? Or?
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. David Zier, Real America's Voice. And I witnessed that enthusiasm on the lines and our submarine builders, and it's unbelievable. But I
Dude,
just,
if you want to suck off the troops, just go over there and do it. You don't have to like come over here and show us all the pictures of you sucking off the troops. Like seriously, I get so tired of this
wanted
shit,
to
man.
ask you, what's the status of the delivery of any hardened bunkers for additional protection for our troops? And without getting too specific, what kind of measures are we taking to protect some of the larger, more strategic aircraft like the Sentry and other?
Well, it's a great question. I'll say what I witnessed where I went was a completely locked in discipline of bunker use and bunker improvement. So from the beginning, as we stated very clearly, the first thing we did was set up a defense and make sure our defensive capabilities were maxed out.
Oh, really? Okay, I think I'm about done with this. I don't really want to watch like I'll go to like one more question. We'll see if there's any if the next one's any good.
Is max. I will say on some of those other assets you talked about just in real time.
That the U.S. might disagree about whether
We move things around and
Okay,
and
let's
don't-
watch
one of
one
the
more
biggest,
question and then I'm gonna move on.
Principles you learn in the military is to not set patterns, predictable patterns, and so commanders are working hard to adjust in real time with those systems and make sure they're in the right places and not easily targetable. Jillian.
Thanks, Mr. Secretary. The U.S. and Iran appear right now publicly to disagree about whether there are these negotiations ongoing. What impact does that have on military strategy? Does it have any bearing at all? And General, the President wrote yesterday that the U.S. might destroy Iran's electricity generating plants and oil wells. Those are his words before ending this operation. Is there a way to do either of those things without like seriously jeopardizing or seriously harming civilians?
Yeah,
So on
I
the
mean,
talks,
probably
I can
not.
tell you, having been with Steve and Jared and the Vice President and Marco and many others yesterday, they are very real. They are ongoing. They're active. And I think
I'm still not so sure. Maybe they're having like through a mediator sort of behind the scenes talks, maybe. But I do think that like I said in the beginning, Iran is going to go until the missile interceptors start running out, like significantly. Which I don't think we're quite there yet from what I can tell. Like, yeah, they're getting more through every single day. But they're not at the point where they're like unable to fire any missile interceptors at all. They're at the point where they send out maybe 2 to 3 per missile instead of like 5 to 10 per missile is kind of the sense that I'm getting so far.
gaining strength. And we appreciate that. As I said in my remarks, we would much prefer to get a deal. If Iran was willing to relinquish material they have and ambitions they have, open this, great. That's the goal. We don't want to have to do more militarily than we have to. But I didn't mean it flippantly when I said, in the meantime, we'll negotiate with bombs. Our job is to ensure that we compel Iran to realize that this new regime, this regime in charge, is in a better place if they make that deal. And so we'll continue. We're working hand in hand, but the primary effort is a deal. We want that deal to be accomplished if at all possible. If not, then we're prepared to continue.
Secretary, what happened at
Go ahead,
Hegseth?
Mr.
Was that a
Chairman.
missile strike?
Yeah. Thanks for the question.
I don't really care about him. Okay, I'm just gonna call it on this one. I guess we got some info maybe out of that one. It's really just a lot of the same, man. And they're doing a lot of that classic imperial shit where they have no way of getting any sort of like strategic victory, and so they just keep emphasizing all of their tactical operations or whatever. And we saw that in Vietnam a lot. We saw that in Afghanistan a lot. And I just don't, maybe it still works for some people. They were also, I don't know. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. I'm still not sure that I'm getting a whole a whole lot of new information here. But okay, let's go and move on to one other video.